with the power vested in me by the throne of Sadashiv fate, I, Thorli, goddess of thunder, start the fundamental analysis of this thunderous stock in Midcap fiction. अरे लाइट गेले का काय? Let me buy electricity online. Hey folks, Hey folks, Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another interesting thunderous mid-cap stock analysis. Last week I had released a video wherein I had promised you all that I am going to cover at least one stock from the Nifty 50. But then I got such an amazing response from you all that I thought, why not start a separate series with the mid-cap segment? So here we go with another stock analysis from the mid-cap segment. Well, by now I hope you have understood which company I'm talking about. It is IEX, that is Indian Energy Exchange. So like we have a stock exchange wherein we buy and sell stocks, we also have an energy exchange wherein we can buy and sell energy or power. But wait, we means can people like you and me do that? For that you have to watch the video for another 3-4 minutes at least. Okay, moving on to the next important point, that for stock exchanges we have a regulator, and which is that SEBI. For power exchanges or energy exchanges, we do have another regulator that is known as CERC, that is Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, right? This company IEX was founded in 2008 and currently it's as good as holding a monopoly position with 95% market share in this segment. One last point I think you should everyone know is that like on if I'm comparing BSE or NSE, only BSE is currently listed in India as I shoot the video. Similarly, if I'm talking about any power exchange, only IEX is listed on the stock exchanges in India. Before we move on, I would like to thank Kuvera for supporting our channel to make this video, but more on this later. Now I'm going to tell you how IEX has made an amazing difference by its very presence. Okay, so for that, let's take a very simple example. Assume we are in Pune 30 years ago. At that time, the requirement of electricity in Pune for a single day, assume it was 10 units. Okay, and assume that the available electricity was only 8 units. Now, what is the simple solution? Demand supply match. Okay, but does that happen today? So today what might happen? Let's understand. Assume that the requirement of Pune is 100 units of energy and today we have only 60 units of energy. What is the possible solution? The specific authorities can then log in to which portal? To the IEX portal, and then they can buy electricity and supply it to the city, and that is how demand supply will absolutely match. Now let's understand few more concepts with the help of amazing examples. Assume that we have Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. A needs to buy certain stocks, and with the help of a stock exchange, he is going to do what? He is going to transfer funds and he is going to receive stocks. Simple. Now assume again Mr. A wants to enter into a contract with Mr. B and buy gold. Again, of course, with the help of an exchange, right? So A is going to transfer money and then he is going to get gold, let us say. Okay. Now A wants to buy electricity from Mr. B. So A pays the money and B pays the electricity. Not possible, right? So now what will happen in real life? For that, let's go back to our Pune example, right? Assume that Pune was in shortage. So what did the relevant authority do? They went to the IEX portal, placed an order, and then what happens is that IEX coordinates with two other organizations. Which two? One is NLDC and one is CTU. NLDC is somewhat like a bookkeeper, a record keeper, and CTU is the organization which is responsible for transmitting energy from line A to line B, right? Now with this entire example, I hope you might have understood that like physical delivery of stocks is comparatively easy, I can say. It doesn't require a heavy grid or transmission lines and all that. So maybe that is the reason why the original exchanges like BSE, NSE for stocks, MCX for commodities, they were told that you focus on your expertise. We will better have a separate exchange, IEX, for the transactions for power-based transactions. Now, with this said and done, the final haunting question is that if there is a power cut in my house, can I directly go and place an order? But before that, generally what happens? If there is a power cut in my house, what is the first thing you do? Hey, तुझ्या घरी लाईट आहेत का?
नाही ना अजून.
मग ठीक आहे. But if the answer comes as yes, then can I directly go to the IEX portal and check up for the shortage? Wait, that's going to be discussed in the immediate next section. But right now also there is one shortage. What? Shortage in the number of likes. So just pause the video, smash the like button, and then continue with the video. Now let's understand what used to happen before 2003. Okay, long-term contracts were made intrastate between the state electricity boards and power generation companies. So you can imagine MSEDC, which is the Maharashtra State Power Board, they used to enter into a contract with some power company in Maharashtra only. Now it was a long-term contract, 25 years contract. So could there be shortages in the short term? Yes, and that is the reason why you can imagine earlier, like 10-20 years ago, there used to be often power shortages. Now what happened after 2003? Electricity Act 2003 came into being, wherein the regulator CERC said that now we are giving you a license of 25 years wherein we are allowing you transmission not only intrastate but interstate also. So just to give you a simple example, if government of Maharashtra is facing a power shortage and if government of Madhya Pradesh has power in excess, then they can enter into a contract with each other where the shortage and excess will be met. Okay. Then what happened is that this was comparatively more efficient but not super efficient. What about the short-term needs? I want power tomorrow. For that, studies were done and CERC again held discussions wherein they studied 3 different markets, namely Nord Pool, which is the European Power Exchange. They also studied PJM, which is Pennsylvania, New Jersey and Maryland, and also studied the UK power market. After studying all these, then they came up with guidelines in December 2006, wherein they said that, okay, we need to establish a power exchange in India. By the way, in 2007 March, IEX applied for this power exchange license, and in on June 27th, 2008, IEX finally commenced its operations wherein it was granted a license to operate as a power exchange. It was initially promoted by FTIL and PFS, but currently it's only a professionally managed company. So if you remember back in the pre-bumper, where I was the goddess of thunder, I was Thorly, I guess. And unfortunately, in an anti-climax, there was a power cut in my house. I had taken a mobile and tried to place an order. Was that allowed? So for that, just have a look at this. Only these entities, like a proprietary firm, registered partnership firm, you can read this. Only these members can be eligible to transact on the exchange. They'll have to take membership of IEX. Okay. So Rachana Ranade individual, can I directly go to IEX and buy and sell electricity for my house? No, that is not allowed. Okay. But then there is another question. I have a partnership firm also, Rachana Ranade and Associates. I can see partnership firm in this list. Can I buy electricity on behalf of my partnership firm? So for that, there is another technical requirement. What is that? It is mentioned that the entity should be connected to a grid. Or if you are a trader, then you should be trading on behalf of a client who is connected to a grid. Then and only then will you be able to become a member of IEX and buy and sell electricity. But still the question is, what do we mean by connected to a grid? For that, have a look at this chart. So you can see that from the power station, you have a transformer, then you have a transmission substation, you have a distribution substation, and those lines, those wires is nothing but that grid that we are talking about. Where is my house? That residential house. Is it directly connected to the grid? No, there is a distribution substation. So first, there is a transmission of electricity and then there is a distribution of electricity. Okay, so individual residential houses are never directly connected to the main power grid. Okay, but can Maharashtra State Electricity Development Corporation, can that be connected to this grid? Answer is obviously yes. Okay, so I hope you have gotten the answer to your original question. Now let's also understand what are the different products or services which are offered by IEX. Number one, it's a day ahead market. So just to give you a simple example, let's assume that MSEDC wants to buy electricity for tomorrow's requirement, just a 15-minute slot. Can they buy electricity? Yes, that is nothing but a day ahead market. Blocking a 15-minute slot for the immediate subsequent day. Okay. Second one is known as a term ahead market. Here you can book a slot, buy energy for 1 hour or for a full day or for an entire week also. It is also possible that I need electricity today for 1 hour. Okay, is that also covered? Yes, that is covered in the TAM. And because I'm talking about today, it's something like a real-time market that we are talking about, right? What else is traded on this exchange? You can also trade renewable energy certificates. You can trade energy saving certificate. And also one last update, IEX also owns a gas exchange, IGX, which has recently started its operations. Now let's understand how does the company earn. Here you can see that there are three primary sources of revenue for IEX. The very first one is transaction fees, which accounts for almost 94% of the revenues. Second one is annual subscription fees, and the third one is membership fees. Just for you to simplify this, have a look at this specific image, right? So here you can see that the price quoted on the IEX exchange, on IEX is 2.5 rupees per unit. Okay. But this is the price on the exchange. What will be the landed cost for that unit of energy? It will be 5.98 rupees. Now you might be wondering, why is there a difference between this amount and this amount? Reason is very simple. For those who do stock trading, you can easily visualize this, that let's say a stock is available at 100 rupees on the market, right? But what do you pay on top of that? You pay brokerage, you pay GST on the brokerage amount, you pay STT and stamp duty charges, so many charges. And finally, your cost of acquisition is higher than 100, right? Same way, original price as quoted on IEX is 2.5, but the landed cost is 5.98. Now, what all charges are additionally charged? You can see here applicable charges, applicable losses, whatever. So just in case, which was the important one here, you can see IEX transaction charges, which is what 94% of the revenue, it's 0.02. Okay, but then you can imagine the multiple number of transactions that might be happening, because of which their revenue is high. Also note, there is one more charge here. You can see here state, which is 0.13. So assume that the government of Maharashtra is buying electricity from government of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is saying that because we are going to transmit energy from our state to your state, some expenditure will be involved, and that is the reason why we are going to charge this amount to you. Okay, simple. So I hope key points are understood. One question still remains: how did this 2.5 come into place? Was there a price discovery mechanism for that or not? So for that, again, I have taken this image from the IEX website only. Here you can see that there are various price ticks which are available. So this is something like people are bidding for 2.5, for 3, for 4, for 9, whatever. People are bidding for these various price points, and here you can see that anything which is in black is like the demand. We need these many units of energy, and anything in red is like the supply. Okay, now here you can see how much is the demand for. Demand is for 20 plus 40 plus 60, that is 120 units, and supply is also for 120 minutes. Has it exactly matched? Yes, and that is the reason why the price discovery has happened at 2.5. Here you can also see this graphically, the demand and supply, and this is the matching point. The price is 2.5. Where did you see this? On this point, right? So I hope you have understood how the price discovery takes place. By the way, this is DM, RTM both. So if you remember, real-time transaction as well as day-ahead markets. Now let's move on with the financials. If you can see, sales has increased amazingly. 10 years compounded growth is almost 24% and TTM growth is 43%. If you can see here, TTM 380 crores, it's at the lifetime high right now. Even if you check the OPM, which is operating profit margin, that is amazing. It's for the last 4 years, it's above 80%. If you go below to net profit, again you can see consistently increasing. If I'm taking the 10 years CAGR, still it's 27% and TTM CAGR is 48%. And of course, the net profit right now is also at the lifetime high at 266 crores. Now, if you go to balance sheet, you can see here important points like borrowings are pretty low, negligible, absolutely. If I'm talking about cash has suddenly increased from 77 crores to 166 crores. Why? Because there was an increase in trade payables. And even if you check out the investments point, investments have also increased because of investment in subsidiary company IGX, which is the Indian Gas Exchange Limited. I just talked about it a few minutes ago, right? Now, if you go to cash flows, you can see that cash flows have also increased consistently. It has operating cash flows especially have been positive for the entire last decade. And you can see the jump from March 2020 to March 2021 from 128 crores to 304 crores. So amazing, right? All in all, if you see, P is at 88.5 times. times, industry P is at 27.2. You might be like, why is the P of this company so high? Remember I talked about it's almost a monopoly company. That might be the reason why it's commanding a high PE. ROC is also very good at 59.7%, ROE at 46.2%, debt to equity, as I mentioned, very negligible, 0.02. But one point is that sales has grown at 43% in the last 1 year. Profit has grown at 48% in the last 1 year. But stock price has gone up by 252% in the last 1 year. Now let's talk about certain risks which are involved in the company. So right now, the company has a license of 25 years to operate as a power exchange. What after 25 years? They'll have to renew the license, right? What if it is not renewed? That's a big risk. But I personally believe the probability of this happening is very less, number one. Number two, CERC, SERC, Government of India may notify certain changes in laws and regulations. Can that have an impact or effect on the company? Possible, yes. One more example of this SERC, which is State Electricity Regulatory Commission. I'll give you a simple example. Remember this? I told you that state also charges some money in the entire transaction. Now, what if SERC says that we are going to increase this amount? Will the landed cost automatically increase? Yes. And if that be so, people might prefer that they'll place an order as a bilateral agreement rather, so like an OTC, rather than placing their trade on the exchange. Okay. Just to elaborate on this point, have a look at this chart now. You can see that if I'm talking about the entire market, this entire electricity market, it is divided into two parts, which is long term, which is a 90% chunk, and short term, which is a 10% chunk. Now, what is this 90% chunk? These are majorly like long term contracts, 25 years long contracts. Are these done like a bilateral contract that I was talking about? Yes, over the counter. Okay. Two parties will sit across, two officials will sit across, and they will decide the transaction. That is a long-term one, 90% share. 10% is a short-term market. In this 10%, again, you can see three sections or subsections. One is bilateral, again, over the counter. Second one is exchange, which the one I'm talking about, IEX. And the third one is real-time. Again, this is also through IEX. Okay, now important point. 10% is what? 4.2 plus 4.1 plus 1.7. This is coming to total 10% short term. Now, out of this, if you see, exchange driven is 5.8%. More than 50% of the short term segment is catered by whom? IEX. And this 5.8% in 2020 was just 2.9% in 2016, which is like a 100% plus jump, right? From 2.9% to 5.8%. In fact, if I'm comparing 2010 versus today, in 2010, company had only 500 registered participants, and today the company has 6,900 plus registered participants. So that is also a very significant jump. Now, what is one big potential upside that you can see here? Currently, everyone is fighting only for the 10% short-term wala market, right? Entire big long-term market, which is 90% of the share, that is what? That is like something which is not open for IEX. Can that open up? Yes. Have a look at this. I've taken this snapshot from Q2 con call transcript. This mentions that the 10-year-long pending jurisdictional conflict between power market, related to power market between CERC and SEBI has been resolved by Honorable Supreme Court, wherein long duration contracts in power can be traded through the IEX, and also this will enable launch of electricity derivatives on the commodity exchanges. Can I say that can give a big potential upside for IEX? Answer is yes. Also, one small point, that if we are talking about EVs and a lot of infrastructure which is involved, can they also start buying from IEX? Answer is yes. So I hope you have understood that 90% and electricity charging stations can have a major potential upside for IEX. You remember our old friend Tipendra? He always used to come up with hot investment tips like buy this share, invest in this mutual fund, and all of these things create confusion. So what should one do? I recently came across this app called Kuvera, which has created a safe space to invest, as it provides AI-driven intelligent recommendations that suit your investment needs. Kuvera believes wealth creation can happen only in a long-term view. As you can see on the screen, there are a lot of multiple features that Kuvera offers. You can save loads of money, which just go as a commission, as it offers only direct plans. There are investment options for all your needs, as we have all these unique goals that are planned for our future. Now you'll just know how much to invest, as this smart tool will help you achieve your dream and make investments easy for you. So if you want, you can just check out the link in the description to download the app. Well, I hope you enjoyed this entire journey of understanding what is a power exchange. We understood why is there a need for a power exchange. Then we started with the fundamental analysis of IEX, wherein we learned a lot of points like it's almost a monopoly stock. We talked about the financial analysis, wherein we said that fantastic sales growth, fantastic profit growth, but the stock has also rallied 250% plus in last 1 year. We also said that a lot of external factors impact the company, so we have to be a bit cautious on that note as well. All in all, I feel that this stock can be a very good value addition from a long-term perspective. So if you want, you can immediately add it to your watch list. And if you want to know more about EVs that we discussed in this video, you can click here. And if you want to know more about one fundamentally strong stock, which is a large cap stock, you can click here. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.